What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Team Solemn Circus live duel. This is actually going to be the final of the OTS Championship. On the left side, we have Kashtira going up against Voiceless Voice on the right side here. Before we dive in, over to like, comment, subscribe, push the channel a lot. We are on the road to 10K. We're going to be seeing the Kashtira player started off with a copy of the Planet Race Off. Going to be able to search for a copy of Fenrir here. We'll potentially see a Duel and Resolution. Does not look so. We're going to be seeing a special summon out of a Fenrir. They are going to activate an Imperm on that Fenrir there. We are going to be offering the deck to cut. This could potentially mean that either our turn is ending or we have a Desires or Prosperity here. Looks like we do have a Desires in the hand. We are going to activate the Desires to attempt to draw 2 after we banish 10. We're going to see them banish 10 for cost. And they do resolve the drawing 2 cards. Looking at that banish pile, we do see an Imperm, and I think that we see a Shifter as well in there. Now the Voiceless Voice player cannot get Shifter, which is very nice. We are going to activate a Kashtira Birth and just pass turn on this. Not the greatest hand. We do see an Ash Blossom in their hand as well, though, so you're going to be potentially going to be able to interrupt the Voiceless Voice player. And we see Voiceless Voice just pass on this. Do we have the hand just full of hand traps? It looks like we do. We're going to see them activate the copy of Fenrir, getting hit with a copy of the Veiler here. They have a second copy of the Rice Off to be able to search for another monster, which they can normal summon out due to Birth's effect here. But they're going to search for a copy of the whatever his name is, Rise Heart. They're going to banish a unicorn off the Rise Heart here. This does give them access to 2 names in the form of, going to be able to summon out the unicorn off of that Birth here. And then obviously unicorn can search for the copy of the Theosis. Theosis can then summon out a copy of Kashtira Scareclaw. They can go battle phase, and this is going to be just game under the nib. They had double nib, which is not the greatest. And then of course they banished a low off the Rise Heart there. Yeah, double nib is not the greatest in the hands. There was a game when I opened double nib and the opponent didn't play into it at all, and it felt really bad. But that just is kind of the game of playing hand traps. But you kind of have to play it. It is a necessary evil now, with all these decks being super powerful and just summoning so many times a turn. But we did see a Imperm and then a Veiler, double nib, not the greatest at all for the decks, but that is just a possibility. When you're playing 15 plus hand traps in these decks now, the norm is 12 to 15 and sometimes even more. It's quite difficult to not sometimes brick on those hand traps there. We are going to be seeing the Voiceless Voice player going to be potentially choosing to go first. There is a world where you let the Kashtira player go first because their board is not always the best. If they're summoning a Unicorn or a Fenrir, that's going to be pretty much it if you have those hand traps. But obviously going second, there's a lot more power to the deck, being a Fenrir being an amazing board breaker. But potentially, not wanting to let them go first due to low being a very high chance that just one Fenrir can be just turning for the Voiceless Voice player, getting that low banish face down to remove the attack off of the Skull Guardian here. We're going to see the Voiceless Voice going first with a normal summon out of Diviner, activating the effect here, which can send the Herald from the extra deck. This is going to also get the Herald effect to let us search. And we are going to be searching for a copy of the Skull Guardian himself. We're going to see the Treyarchio summon herself out. Then we're going to activate the effect, getting hit with an Ash Blossom here. This is quite impactful. We do have the copy of the Barrier to be able to still play through this. And that's going to summon or search out for Saphira. Saphira can activate her effect, sending herself to the graveyard to dump the copy of the spell Prayer, I believe, which is some ritual summon here. And then Saphira can also activate the effect, and we're also going to be searching for a Saravis. Saphira is going to be sending itself and a Saravis to go for a copy of potentially that low there, or not low, of the Skull Guardian, but without low, it's not doing much for us. Summoning out Skull Guardian in defense, we're going to activate the effect here, which is going to resolve searching us for that low. We have normal summoned already, therefore we can't really get it. We do set a card which could potentially be the trap card from the deck. And just passing on this. You see them draw for turn. We have another Ash in the hand, which can be quite good. And we have the Lava Golem here to get rid of those two monsters. Wow. Just tributing them off here, which is insane. And we're going to see Desire is going to be activated. Banishing 10 once again. Will we see that draw 2? We will see a successful draw 2 here. We also have a Talents in the hand. I'm going to summon out the copy of Unicorn. This is not going to be great against this deck. You know, Unicorn is not very impactful. They don't really care that much about their extra deck. We do see the effect activating, and they get hit with an Imperm, which is going to be essentially stopping them from doing the rest of their turn. If they don't have another extender, which we have an Ash Blossom here. But they can't normal summon it out due to the fact that they have the Lava Golem already. They're just going to pass turn on this. We do take 1,000 due to the effect of Lava Golem. So we could see a potential Unicorn Rip. I'm going to be looking at their extra deck. And we see a Typhon SP. A Dynamundo here as well. They're going to get rid of the SP there, okay. And they're going to normal summon with the low. You're going to see that get hit with a copy of Veiler there. So having Ash plus Veiler in the hand, which is kind of known, they're going to activate the effects to place the trap face up onto the field. And then we're going to see the effect to get ashed once again. You know, Saravis being in hand, being able to dodge those cards are just so insane. You know, when you can just dodge a copy of Veiler, and you still get, like, you do get punished, I guess, by Ash Blossoms, but we're going to be seeing the effect here going for a Skull Guardian, banishing that Saphira once again, summoning out that copy of the Skull Guardian, and then we get that low on the field, which is going to be making the Skull Guardian going to be at, like, 4,100 attack, which is pretty nice. You know, pretty big if you can't get rid of the low. A lot of players do forget about that. So we're going to go battle phase and attack, dealing some heavy damage there, setting an additional card and passing. And now we have an Omni Negate as well here, which is very, very nice. We're going to see them activate a second copy of Desires, banishing 10 once again. Will they just negate this is the question. You know, that could be a world where we actually already banished all of our monsters here. We're going to be summoning out a copy of the Saravis Voiceless Voice. They do draw 2 cards here. We draw into another Ash Blossom, it looks like. We're going to see a Fenrir being special summoned. Activating the effect. They are going to Skull Guardian negate that. And I mean, we do have to summon out another monster here. But that could be potentially a copy of Imperm set as well. We know they have Ash in hand, and we have Shifter and a Talent as well. So we're going to activate the Talents due to the Skull Guardian effect. And do we just draw 2 again? Saravis bounce to summon out Saravis in the chain. They're going to read the effect here of Skull Guardian. And the Saravis was summoned this turn, therefore can't beat over. Yeah, I don't see the Kashtira player end up winning this one here. Because they can't find a way to... They haven't touched the extra deck, so they can't take low to overlay. So they're forced to take the Skull Guardian, but Skull Guardian does not have more attack because your opponent controls the low. You have to control the low or it being in your graveyard. So then we normal summon Ash, get hit with Summon Limit, And that's just going to be game. This is summon number 3. Therefore, they can't even go into any extra deck monsters here. And they just scoop it up, realizing it's going to be too much. Summon Limit is the MVP of this tournament. We also saw it at the YCS Vegas. At the 3v3, a lot of players were playing it as well. Very interesting that we saw most players playing the copy of Summon Limit, but not any copies of back row removal. So essentially, if you can play around it in the Snake Eyes deck, going to be able to summon out during your opponent's turn as well, doing a little bit combos like that. But like, if you don't have crossout, it's kind of like Shifter. If your opponent flips it on you, you don't have crossout, you're kind of in a bad position there. But if they have crossout for your crossout, and you flip it up at the right time, they are going to be quite in trouble. It's like, well, do you want to save your crossout for a copy of the Summon Limit, or do you want to be able to hit one of those copies like Ash or Nib or Droll even potentially? Those cards are going to end your turn there, which is very wild to me that we just haven't seen any like spell and trap hate at all. I wonder if that's just because the fact that it's a 3v3 and you can't afford to lose a game. When it's not just on the line, just on you. You also have 2 more players. For all of you guys to lose to like one card at the exact same time would be kind of not usual. But just very interesting that we saw that with a lot of players just not even playing any spell and trap. Going up against a runic deck could be quite problematic as well. Or a stun player. I know Thomas, who's on Kashtira, wants to be playing stun due to the fact that he has now his invite, or has multiple invites, but he has got essentially the mat for this season. Therefore, you can just troll around and screw over regionals, which is quite funny sometimes being able to see it. He did take a Runic Stun to 1 regionals before, and that was when Scrub Raid was being a card, and it was quite entertaining to see players struggle against him. We're going to be seeing Cash going to go first, starting off with a copy of the Planet. Not really breaking into any of these games. We do see a Droll Knockbird on resolution of the copy of Unicorn. We have a Talent Strip the hand. We see Ash Blossom, Veiler, Saphira, and a Barrier here. So going to be all good cards. And we end up hitting the Barrier, leaving just a Saphira in the hand alongside 2 hand traps. We do summon with the copy of the Unicorn here. And then we set 2 additional cards and pass turn on this. Barrier will be the card that gets the more than just 1 turn, I guess, of play here. So that's definitely, it makes sense to write it back. You could debate that you might want to hit a copy of like the hand traps, but if you have like Imperm, Ash, really Ash is not going to do very much against you, and obviously Veiler is still going to be a monster effect. We're going to activate the effect of Saphira here. And we are going to be chaining Ash. Did we chain Veiler to the opponent's? Oh, we just passed turn and they activate the effect there of Unicorn, and we hit it with a Veiler and they passed on that, setting an additional card. Okay, that makes sense there. Then we're going to activate a pre-prep to add the cards. Pre-prep is going to be a very nice card, essentially a +2 by deck thinning your deck. It is only a +1, but it's essentially a +2 here. We are going to see them activate a copy of the Ritual spell, and we see a D-Barrier calling Ritual here. That is brutal. And then they're going to attempt to pass turn during the end phase. They're going to activate Trap Tricks, banishing a copy of Imperm to set another copy of Imperm there. Deck thinning their deck extremely, getting rid of the 2 cards from there, making sure that they just don't draw any of those bricks that they don't want to see at all. And then we're going to go activate the effect of Unicorn, get Ashed, and then they're going to be looking at their extra deck here. Once again, most likely probably getting rid of an SP. And we just attack once again for that 24, I believe, maybe 25 with the Rice off on the field. But we are going to activate a copy of Birth and passing on this. Birth is really good here because if they activate a spell, you can actually banish their copy of Prayer alongside the Saphira as well. We are going to see them activate another copy of Saphira there. So if they do activate a spell card, they will be able to banish quite a bit of cards. But then we're going to be dumping the copy of Prayer. And then we're going to be looking at the extra deck, most likely getting rid of a Dynamundo here. don't really think there's anything else that's going to be like problematic. They could get rid of the copy of Herald as well if they wanted to. We're going to activate a Saphira, sending the copy of Ceravis to be able to special summon out. They do have the Imperm for the Skull Guardian. They chain another copy of Ceravis, and they chain another Imperm here. Holy. Having that double Imperm is just going to be, this is turn ending here. This might be able to just settle the whole tournament. They're going to pass turn on this, and we have the Unicorn. We're going to activate the Unicorn effect. Our opponent is on 0 cards. They can't do anything against this. And now we have a copy of the Birth. Well, we have a copy of the Theosis we can search. We also drew into a Fenrir there, which is going to be just enough for game. And we see them go for the Kashtira. Here, the Scareclaw Kashtira. We haven't even used the Fenrir effect to search for the copy of the Rise Heart. Rise Heart summon himself out, and then you can go for a copy of Unicorn, just boost up the attack and just go for game here. So we do see Kashtira taking the win for the OTS Championship. You know, having those talents to be able to rip that hand was quite impactful. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.